What's going on, everybody? It's Brady McDonald here from Brightwork, and I want to talk about going into entrepreneurial battle, and also I'm going to talk to you about the Self Storage Association conference. But the reality is if you're going to be an entrepreneur, you are going into battle, and it is absolutely critical that you make wise decisions as to who do you go into battle with and who do you actually have in your corner. And simply making these decisions as to who you surround yourself with and who you do business with, who you partner with, who you collaborate with, who you look up to, who you listen to, these decisions as to who these people are and who you put in your corner can mean the difference between life and death. These are life and death decisions with regards to your business, your family's future, and the success of yourself and your business. And the reality is it's a huge factor as to whether you accomplish your goals, in 6 months, whether you accomplish them in 2 years, whether you accomplish them in 30 years, and whether you never accomplish them at all. Right? Again, entrepreneurship is a battle. It is grueling, hard, emotional, risky. Like right now, I'm freaking exhausted, burning the candle at both ends. And I'll get into that a little bit, but that's just the reality of it. You got to wake up earlier. You got to do things you don't want to do. You have all the risk. You're sacrificing your house, your family's well being. It's an absolute battle. Um, so that's why. Based on these decisions as to who you hang around, and who you put in your corner, and who you go to battle with, right? Keeping that in mind, I was asked by a mentor and a business partner actually, and that he suggested that I go to the Self Storage Association conference, which was in Orlando yesterday, and that's actually finishing today. He just thought this would be a great place to get to know people, have introductions. He's like, man, you got to come. So I looked it up. It's $1,000, right? $1,000 US for, I was there. I showed up. I left yesterday morning at 4:30 in the morning. I drove to Orlando, which took like 3 hours and 45 minutes. I got there, obviously tired. Went and met, my partners in person for the first time. And obviously we've been working together on this big deal for quite some time now. But met him for the first time, met his team. Um, and started going down this road as to and I'm going to explain some of the takeaways that I had from from this event. But again, like somebody that is in my shoes doing what I want to do, that's already having the success I want, gives me a suggestion to do X, I do X, right? Yes, it was $1,000 commitment. Yes, it was. Was it worth it? Absolutely. Do you think that $1,000 is going to turn into 20 million? I guarantee you that's actually the truth. So here's a few takeaways from the self storage conference that was just that. So so self storage is a very small community, even though it's nationwide, right? So like all the big players were at this event. There was 2,400 people. I'm very well connected through my mentor and business partner, very well connected to the big players. And I actually, through, one of the guys that's helping us build this big facility and all the facilities that we could do going forwards, they introduced me to all of these key players, and that kind of like leads me into the next point, is that there's so much collaboration in this space, and there isn't the sense of competitive competition in the residential space. It's very cutthroat, right? Like people aren't willing to share information, their tips and tricks as to how they're buying apartment buildings. They don't do that. They're not, it's just very, I don't know. It's very competitive. It's a different space where, in the people that I've met so far and along the journey with diving into self-storage that I've been involved with and I've had, people are collaborating. So, the GCs collaborate, the builders collaborate to ensure that they can get product and that they can get the projects done for the developers. The developers are working together and partnering together. The project managers, the REITes are a huge contributor to the success of the developers, because these REITes want these big facilities to be built, for one. Then they want to buy them, and they want to buy amazing facilities that they want to put into their portfolio, so that they want us to build them, right? So what a cool space to be into, so that where you can have that. We actually had a meeting with one of the big REITs, CubeSmart. These companies, like, I should have pulled some stats on this, but CubeSmart is like, I'll actually put that in the notes, but it's billions of dollars. Like, they have, I can't even make up the number. It's probably thousands of storage facilities that they own and manage. But we had actually a one-on-one meeting because of one of the introductions that I had. That's actually part of our team. We had a one-on-one meeting with. They got one of the guys from these REITs who's in charge of third-party sales, and the conversation was about a deal that we're looking at. Another deal in Texas with regards to them looking after the management, third-party management, and getting their opinion on, the location, the type of building that should be built there, whether it's multi-story or all one story, and how much climate control versus not climate control, and if we can't do all climate control, do they think it's feasible to do RV and boat storage, and would they want that? Would they want to buy that? Right? And you're having these conversations with the big players who are part of your exit strategy, actually, as well as they're the biggest players. They're a huge player into making this a success, right? These are the ones that are actually going to third party rent these facilities out for us. So anyway, very interesting to see the collaboration with the biggest players in the game and the developers, and how that works with the GCs and the builders. And then there obviously are key players that you want on your team. That was a big thing, and I was introduced to most of them. There's two massive players that do most of the development and building and the construction of these actual types of facilities. I was lucky enough to go out for dinner with one of them last night, with a couple of other partners. Got to know the owner of the company, and they've got hundreds of employees. They build storage facilities across the United States, in most states, which is unbelievable. And the thing about, like, out of the conversations and getting to know this guy, was that these big guys don't want to just do business without anybody. It's very relationship based, and they want to make sure before they get into anything that they aren't reliant on that contract. Yes, there's contracts, but they want to do business with good people who know that we're working towards the end goal, and making sure that the project is built on time, on schedule. People are going to get paid when they're supposed to get paid and whatnot. And that's one thing I've realized too. When you get into any space, like, not everybody's willing to work with everybody, and that's one thing you should realize that right now, is that if you want the highest chances of success to be in the right rooms, well, you got to deserve it, right? You have to put yourself put yourself in their shoes, and make sure that you're presenting yourself the way that you would you'd expect if you were them. And then one thing that one of these guys actually said to me, who's a massive developer, owns airplane hangars and storage facilities and builds them. He's built over 75 of these facilities himself, is that he's like, he really, like, I told him that I was 37. He's like, yeah, right. He's like, it's time to go big. It's time to go big where you still have a 3 in your age. So in summary, if you're going to be an entrepreneurial, if you're going to be an entrepreneur, it's going to be a battle, right? And again, you need to put the right people in your corner if you're going to battle, right? If you want to, if your goal is to be a flipper, you shouldn't, you want to be talking to the guys that have flipped hundreds of houses, not the guy that has flipped 2, right? So the hard truth about this is that, the people that you need in your corner are likely not the closest people to you, right? These are not going to be your friends. These are not going to be your family. It's likely anyway. Not going to be your friends, not going to be your family, not going to be your coworkers, right? You're not going to likely not going to be your peers. These are people that, who have already achieved what you want to achieve, and have already done what you want to do, right? These are not your friends, right? As my buddy Chris Root says, these are your allies that you want to, surround yourself with. When you do that, you surround yourself with these types of people. They want your success equally as much as you want your success, right? And that's obviously going to expedite anything that you ever do. So, if you are an active real estate investor who wants to scale fast, who wants to be in these types of rooms, remember that we've got our mastermind coming up on April 8th and 9th in Cape Coral, Florida. There's 6 seats left. It will get full here, I bet you, the next 2 weeks because its time is ticking. We are, under a month away. Actually, it's a month yesterday, 8th or 9th, I guess. So it's just under a month away. So we're going to need to book flights, and there's only 6 spots left. So we'd love to have you. And again, just about putting those people in your corner so you can win the battle of entrepreneurship. Anyway, I hope everybody has a great Saturday or Friday. I don't even know what day it is. I got to get on a call here. We're hopping on an educational thing for our investor portal for this big deal in Texas that we're taking down. To get that all dialed in, we've got our US PPM docs all drafted, and we're currently working on our Canadian docs to make sure that we're all good there with regards to the securities issues. And then after that, we're gonna go sit by the pool because I'm exhausted, absolutely exhausted. Anyway, I hope everybody has a great day, great Saturday, great Friday, whatever day it is, great weekend, and start taking action. Get yourselves in those right rooms. Cheers.